Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is your spot. Day 2 of the Masters. Plenty on that over the next 3 hours. The second to last night, the penultimate night for the NBA, Pauly, as well. No games tomorrow. Sunday is the last card on the final day of the Masters. We'll get into that. Major League Baseball, only one-day game, so that means a heavy card later on tonight. Great guests on the program. We'll talk NFL draft with Mark Schofield and rumors in the draft. He had a great story of a very popular team that could be trading up to make a pick 2 weeks from last night. Matt Vasgersian, our buddy, MLB Network, play-by-play on the show. We'll talk baseball with him in an hour. Chad Anderson in town for the Frozen Four from Denver. We'll go over Nuggets, Avalanche, Frozen Four with him then, and Jeff Sherman over at the Westgate on the Masters weekend. So this thing was turning into the Rory Invitational. Quickly moved to 8 under, had a 3-stroke lead right away this morning. He gave one back and a couple of holes back. He is now through 8, and somehow, some way, he is 7 under, and he saved par at number 8, putting from the edge of the green, in fact, a little bit off the green, and he almost sunk that bad boy. And that would have been somehow, Pauly, a birdie to move back to 8 under, but he put it within an inch of the hole. Then obviously he parred. So he's sitting there right now at plus 142 at DraftKings to win this thing, ahead of your guy, Patrick Reed.
It's his tournament.
Who is 3 back, along with Justin Rose, who bounced back beautifully today.
2 back?
Yeah, 2 back. Sorry.
And something just must have happened. He moved to the second choice now. He's now plus 850 to win. So I feel good about where Pat's at. Be a great story. I know humans will be pissed, but it'll be beautiful. And let's see, is he on number 10 that he's making some noise? So Rory's unbettable. Plus 145 to win the tournament. That's crazy to me. So it's a good leaderboard. Lurking, looming is Schauffele. Don't quit on Schauffele. Does this every single year. And I know Koepka gave it a good run as well.
Oh, he's in it.
So, Hatton had a great start. Hatton's right there.
I was on the wrong live golfer.
Yeah.
Hatton with a beautiful round today.
Yep. And Fitzpatrick also, I know, have him top 20. A lot of people have him. He's tied for 30th. He just had a long birdie putt to get to 1 over. So projected cut line is 4 over, and we'll see what happens here down the stretch.
Somehow, some way, John Rahm got to 4 under today.
Yes.
For the tournament. So as of right now, it looks like he would be in. By the way, Tommy Fleetwood, the 3rd shot on the board right now behind Patrick Reed. He's now at plus 940. Fleetwood is through 10 today. He's 3 under for the day, 4 under for the tournament. So he is right behind your guy, Patrick Reed. And then it's Justin Rose at plus 970 and Xander Schauffele at plus 1050. So what was it about Rory? Why did he balloon up so high? Nobody wanted him. I guess evidently David Baker, I guess, was making the case to bet him. He liked him because of the number. But is it simply because he wasn't exactly playing super hot like he was last year going into it, and there's no repeat champion since Tiger Woods like 20-plus years ago? Is that the only reason why?
Well, yeah, and defending champs don't finish top 10 either. That's the other one. That's another angle.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But is that if he didn't win last year, there's no way Rory would have gotten to, what did he get? Did he touch 16 to 1?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't think he gets there if he doesn't win the tournament last year. So people were kind of avoiding him because of that no repeat factor since Tiger. And I'll tell you, last year on Sunday, Rory was absolutely nervous. He made some mistakes last year, and he hung on and he won in the playoff. And you could tell that he was so emotional afterwards. And maybe that was one of the reasons why he was more relaxed this year going in, and he didn't have that pressure on him anymore. And why he's gotten off to this blazing hot start so far.
Well, he couldn't hit a fairway yesterday either.
Not at all.
And still had a share of the lead. Yeah. So do you think someone outside the top 10 right now can make a run? Because history says you got to be inside the top 10 here, top 11, if you're going to do this.
Well,
and if you go down, once you get outside the top 11, then you're talking, 5 shots back or more. And that's Henley, DJ, Cam Young, Matsuyama, and English and Scheffler. Boy, Scheffler, oh boy, He's even now. Boy, 2 over for the day.
Yeah, did not have a great day there.
Oh, boy.
Well, all of these stats tell you that you basically have to be top 10 after day one. And then all of a sudden you have a couple of guys like Wyndham Clark, who was awesome today. But more importantly, I guess, or a bigger factor would be Hatton, who was, 2 over for the day yesterday. And he put together the lowest round of the tournament so far with his score today. And he finished at, 6, because he gave one back and he finished at 4. So he was at 7 under for the day going into, I think it was one of the final couple of holes there. So he came out of nowhere, and he's positioned himself now nicely and certainly has a chance now. But I think after today, you can't be going too far down the board at all. Ben Griffin, did you mention him?
No.
He had a great day today. And he's at 3 under now, and he's done for the day. Also, I can't write off Chris Gotterup, who is just an excellent golfer. He had a really good spring with a couple of wins, winter/spring, and he's lurking. Now, this is going to depend on what kind of a score Rory's going to post today, because if he touches 10, somehow gets to that number, then you're probably only talking about a handful of guys that could be in the mix. But if the leader after today is sitting there like around 7, where Rory's at right now, then you can go down to the current players who are 3 under, 2 under to get back into this thing starting tomorrow on the official, moving day. Maybe it plays out kind of like last year, where Rose puts himself back into this thing and we get Rose and Rory on the final day. And then Rose can finally win. I have nothing on Justin Rose, and I think it would be really cool if he won. And right now he's plus 970. He's plus 110 to finish top 5. A couple of bets that I made. Yesterday, we talked about this in the final hour of the show as the first round was winding down. I did take a little X-Man at 11-1 last night to win. I also booked, I had this in pocket, Koepka. What was it, Luke? Plus 235, I think, plus top 10. And I took some on, I was looking all night last night at Harry English to finish top 30. That was plus 105. I should have grabbed that. Instead, I grabbed plus 165 to go top 20. He was 1 under today. He's currently sitting at tied for 23rd overall. How about you? Anything else?
Nope. Just Pat Reed, Batia, and Fitzpatrick top 20. Hovland, Cantlay, Bradley, Cam Smith, Rahm all on the cut line. And Harmon. DeChambeau's 3 over. So was Sergio. JT didn't play well. Adam Scott didn't play well. They're 2 over. And I wouldn't say there was a big surprise about someone who's going to miss the cut either, other than, I guess, McIntyre, who just didn't, and gave the green the middle finger after what happened with that debacle before we got off the air. But I would say the biggest names to miss the cut are going to be Bubba, McIntyre, and Berger.
Where is DeChambeau at right now?
3 over.
Okay, so he's at 3 over. He's safe for the moment, and he's at 1 under for the day.
He's got a lot of holes left.
He's got a ton.
Yes. Morikawa fighting. The humans pep talk worked. Even.
Oh, he's at even
9.
now.
Yes.
That's no good.
Going out, yes.
He's 2 under for the day.
Showing some fight and some guts.
We need to get him off the leaderboard.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Well, at least he's going to make the cut, too. That's the other thing.
It's uncanny, my history of betting on or fading guys who are seemingly injured going into a tournament. Because I had a bet on Rory earlier this year. The back's going to be fine. Okay, no problem. Had like plus 230 top 10. Had no chance. I think he withdrew in that tournament. Awful. Trying to fade Morikawa because of his comments, the back, not hitting a lot of balls. He was only like the farthest he could hit a ball was 280 yards the other day. So it's like, okay, this is not great. I bet him to miss, and I bet JT in a matchup. I hate betting on Justin Thomas, but I had to do this against Colin Morikawa.
Yeah.
And the other one was Matsuyama. But Morikawa is surviving and advancing the way it looks.
Well, no matter what happens, nothing's going to top what happened in the Padre game last night. So if you lose a bet, so be it. But condolences if you had that one last night. If 1-1 goes to extra innings and the game goes over, that is just sick. So good luck to everyone with the Masters bets, but onward and upward. I think you feel good about your Koepka ticket because he missed a couple birdie putts out there, too.
Oh, he did.
He could be 5 under when you think about it.
He was so up and down today. Good on one hole, bad on the next. Good on the next hole, then bad after that. But to be where he's at right now, I'll take that. I did not bet him to win outright. I just bet him to win, finish top 10. He's tied for 11th right now. And Schauffele just moved to the second shot on the board at plus 780. My guess is he's probably in good position here. He is 4 under now, 2 under through 10 on the day. Either did he just birdie right now, or is he in position maybe birdie again? He's not on the screen right now, but he's now the second shot at DK. He's even money still to go top 5. I actually think that's a good bet. He was plus 160 before today to go top 5. I thought that was a really good bet. And this guy has a great history here. Was totally fine yesterday. He's a multiple major winner. And I just think that he's going to be there probably on Sunday, lurking and looming, and with a chance to maybe pull this whole thing off. But it's a really good leaderboard for the most part.
Don't count out Jason Day.
Yeah.
Good job, humans. 100-1. He's in the mix. 3 shots back. You're right. There it is. Yeah, he just birdied.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
There you go. Schauffele. Yep. So right there with 4 under. A lot of big names. Schauffele, Fleetwood, and Day.
Yep.
I'm ready. NBA, baby. This is going to be a fun night.
There's a lot to look at.
Oh, God,
with this
it's
card.
crazy. Oh, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
With the playoff positioning and seeds, and you can get the tanking parlay at plus money, too. There's so many damn games.
Mm-hmm. We'll kick that around. This is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard here on Masters Friday. So that NBA card is next. It's loaded. Seeding scenarios all over the place. And as Pauly just said, one more chance to go bombs away on a tanking parlay. We'll kick it around all coming up next year on VSiN.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
So Boston goes down to the Knicks last night. Now they have to, if they win tonight, they're going to clinch the 2 seed. They're a huge favorite against the Pelicans. I thought this was pretty bonkers because this was supposed to be, as everybody called, the gap year for the Celtics. They finished 26-15 on the road with a plus 7.56 differential, better than the 2024 title team and the 9th best in NBA history. And as their play-by-play guy, Sean Grandy, tweeted out, 5 years ago, only 5 teams ever had seasons of plus 7.5 on the road. Think about that for a second. 5 years ago, only 5 teams ever had seasons like that. The Celtics have done it 4 of the past 5 years. And the best road team of all time is Oklahoma City, with the road scoring differential, plus 11.59 on the year. They're better than the 1972 Lakers and last year's Thunder, the champions that they had and they put together. That's absolutely remarkable. And why, plenty of people here on the network are still pushing Missoula to possibly win Coach of the Year.
It's tough. I would go Bickerstaff, though, what they had to deal with without Cunningham and to get their 1 seed. But it's a great discussion and a great race. And tonight, as we talked to Tony Rizzo yesterday, I think this has got to be the game here where it's the rollover for Cleveland. They were playing with fire. They were down 8 at the half on Wednesday. They had a great third quarter, and as Rizzo said, they wanted to show the Hawks that they could beat them when they wanted to. But now the Hawks open 7. It's still sitting there at 7.5. Mitchell out, Allen out, Merrill out. I'm surprised the number's not higher. Atlanta needs it, and the Knicks' magic number to get the 3 is 1. So if you want to get the 4 and lock in this good chance it's either Toronto or Atlanta in the 4 or 5, you lose this game because you close with the Wizards. So I would think that's what's going to happen tonight. And Atlanta can, I would also think if they would pull guys too at some point in the second half. So
I would actually include the Hawks on a moneyline parlay tonight.
Yes, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. I am totally with you on that one. So that starts with the insanity here as they lose the tiebreaker to Toronto and Charlotte, but they have the tiebreaker over the 76ers and Orlando. So Atlanta's got to get this one at home tonight, and I think the Cavs will hand them a gift in the game on Amazon.
Yep, we're on the same page there. Is there any team that you would be careful with on the money line parlay tonight? And I'm wondering, I know the 76ers need it for seeding, but the Pacers can still win a game here. Like, they're okay. Like, they're tied into the top 3. They can't really screw up their odds to get the best pick in the draft. They're comfortable here. If they went out there and wanted to play one to send off the guys on a high note for, to close the season, they could actually go out there and try to win this game if they wanted. And they'd
from a tanking standpoint, as an opponent, you're saying?
I'm saying
as any big favorite?
As any big favorite here tonight, would you be careful with? That stood out to me. Like, I know the Sixers absolutely want it for seeding purposes because there's like a log jam right there, like 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
But the Pacers could go out there and play as free as humanly possible here.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I'm all good with that. And that parlay along with Atlanta pays plus 140. There's a lot of great things going on tonight in terms of who you want to avoid and matchups. But it's the Lakers, after all the turmoil and the tough injuries, the 4 seed sitting right there for them. I'm not saying they're going to beat Houston, but if you're going to beat Houston, you'd like to have home court. And if you can beat Phoenix, you close with Utah at home, and that's a win. Hayes is out. They're supposed to get Marcus Smart back. You called it yesterday that you thought they shouldn't be underdogs. That skeleton crew that Golden State rolled out there, LeBron was great. Ayton still, they have a good roster. Ayton played well. So now they're underdogs against the Suns, and I question what the Suns' motivation is, locked into the 7th seed. So the late game's coming up tonight. It's right there for the Lakers now to still hold on to this 4 seed if they win their next 2 games because they have the tiebreaker.
Yep. So what do you want to do with the Denver Nuggets in Oklahoma City? And Oklahoma City is basically playing nobody. And Denver still needs one more win to basically lock in or get the 3 seed. And so they also have the Spurs coming up on Sunday. They're laying 11 in this game. I know a lot of their players were also questionable here tonight. The Thunder have been feisty this year when they don't play any of their key guys.
Yep. It behooves OKC to lose this game. You do not want to see Denver in the second round. And Denver's got to win these next 2 because the Lakers have the tiebreaker. I don't know. I want to see what San Antonio... That's a good discussion with Chad Andrus coming up, how San Antonio will play that Sunday. Because if I'm San Antonio, I would love to see Houston or the Lakers as opposed to Denver in the second round.
Yep.
So that's where you're going to have some shenanigans maybe on Sunday, and they're laying a big number tonight. They'll play Wemby just to get that thing out of the way. But OKC is so talented that they could still make this respectable and close. And certainly Denver's defense is putrid. But if I'm OKC, I don't want to compete in this game, and I don't want to play Denver until I have to.
No, I would. Maybe if you want to have their guys go out there and be super competitive for like 3 quarters and then say, okay, that's enough. Now here comes like the G League guys or the absolute end of the bench that we have tonight because we want to lose this game. That's what I would approach it as. But it's, again, like they have the tiebreaker over the Rockets.
Yes.
But they're all right there too. And if crazy things happen tonight, like this could flip actually to where Denver doesn't get the 3. And then how does it break down between Houston and the Lakers overall with that seeding anyway? So,
should the Spurs be 18.5? How long are these guys going to play? What, right?
I have that question for a lot of these games tonight.
Yes. That seemed like that's inflated. You play Wemby as 20 minutes and that's it? Mm-hmm. Who knows? Castle was a game-time decision last check, but even though Dallas can't guard anybody and they're so bad, that's still, you might get backups in the second half in that one as well. But there's a tax on all these, which also Minnesota has enough talent that they could maybe compete. Not that they...
Sure they could.
I mean, you're taking on Houston, but Houston laying 10.5, and they've won 8 in a row. But again, that's an inflated point spread based on no motivation and another team locked into their seed.
Sure, I would agree. We also have, I think, to me, in a perfect world, this would present an outstanding betting opportunity tonight with an all-time tank job. And nobody could say it any better than Brian Windhorst earlier today on ESPN.
We have arrived at the tanking Super Bowl. I think it merits what we have to watch tonight. We've worked for months to get here. The teams have worked hard. We have arrived. I give you the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Utah Jazz, a game that nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to win. If Memphis wins this game, they could lose 7% chance at the top 4. If Utah wins this game, They could lose 10%. You know what Utah has gone through? They could lose 10%. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Memphis has 12 players out tonight.
I think it legit might be 13.
And another who's
honestly
listed as doubtful. 90% of their salaries are on the bench tonight.
Okay, so with that being said, these teams have been doing this now for 3 months, trying to put themselves in the best position possible for the upcoming draft. I get the total. Both teams have been playing crazy high games. Do we not have to bet the under 248 in this game?
I can't get there.
We don't want to win. Neither do we.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm saying in a perfect world, neither one of these teams should want to win, and that's the exact game plan that they've stuck with now for months. Why not just have like a dead game where it's like 89-85? You're trying to have the other team win as much as possible.
It could be the opposite. Everyone's coming down and shooting a three every possession and bombs away. And what Memphis did a couple games ago, tying the record. You got so many guys playing on 10-day contracts too, where they want to put something on tape and showcase their abilities. But it's also he was so good on that. It's also high comedy when you look at it. Like everyone's out for the Nets. Everyone's out for the Wizards. Mm-hmm. That total moved 5 points from 250 down to 245. But that's where it's incredible where you make up excuses of why these guys are out and guys you never heard of that are playing and could decide this one.
What is your best bet for tonight?
Portland. Portland at home, the one game that really means a lot. This determines the 8 and 9 seed. Mm-hmm. The winner gets the 8, the loser is the 9. Portland's at home. They played about 10 days ago, and Portland beat them in L.A. It just seems that something is off with the Clippers, where they were playing so well, and then they lost at home to Sacramento. They lost both games in New Orleans. They haven't been playing well, and I just think, based going back when they traded Harden and the Kawhi Leonard quote about, well, it's over now, we have a chance. I think they know that, well, big deal if we make the playoffs, we're either going to get hammered by San Antonio or OKC. And I know Mathurin got hurt in that stretch, too, with the toe injury. I still like them on paper. I think they could be frisky, but I just think they just kind of have their bags packed, and I think Portland wins at home, and they get the 8, and then the Clippers will be in the 9-10, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, Clippers were in the same spot last year against Golden State, and they won by 5 in overtime. Kawhi was unbelievable. He played 47 minutes, had 33 points, 7 and 6.
Yes.
Overall.
And then disappointed everyone in the first round.
Gave that series away.
Yes, they did.
Up next, we'll discuss juicy NFL draft rumors. We'll tell you which very popular team could trade up to make a splash on draft night. Coming up on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, during the break, Patrick Reed with a birdie. So he moved to 6 under for the tournament. He's one behind McIlroy. And moments ago, Xander Schauffele missed a 5-footer for par. So he bogeyed. He dropped one, and he's down to 3 under for the tournament. So 4 back of Rory right now. Pauly, Reed at DK is plus 510 to win this thing. You're sitting on 42-1 in pocket. Mm-hmm. We go out to the progressive guest line. We'll talk some NFL draft here. Mark Schofield joins the program, SBNation.com. Mark, before we get into this, who did you have winning the Masters this year?
I had Rory. I went pretty chalk there. Maybe not the most inspiring, exciting pick, but kind of felt like, look, the way he played recently, the way he's played at this course, it felt like a good pick to me.
Yeah, looks good. Let's get into, you had a great column on SBNation.com about juicy rumors for the NFL draft, which round 1 is 2 weeks from last night. I'll begin here. We have had a flip of the favorite to go number 2 overall for a long time leading into this event. Reese from Ohio State was a $2 favorite or even more to go 2 to the Jets. Now David Bailey, outstanding D lineman from Texas Tech, is the very small favorite to go number 2 overall. What do you think of that?
That seems to be the way this is trending, Mitch, because like you said, in mock drafts, basically from December to about a couple of weeks ago, it looked as if Arvell Reese, the linebacker / edge defender from Ohio State, who's a very fast-in player, was going to be the pick for the Jets at 2. And for a couple of different reasons. This is a defense that needs a lot of help. They could use help at linebacker. They could use help off the edge. And you have a player of his caliber who could give you help at both spots. It seemed to be the perfect fit. But it has trended towards David Bailey, the pass rusher from Texas Tech. And I think the reason is this. While Reese can give you help at 2 spots, he's still a developmental project at both of those spots. Bailey is a plug-and-play pass rusher in week 1 of the National Football League when he arrives as a rookie. And this is a Jets team that needs to pressure the quarterback next year. Remember, this is a defense that did not get a single interception last year. They've got to get some pressure on the quarterback. Bailey looks to be a surefire pass rusher off the edge in week 1 as a rookie. And for a defense that needs to pressure quarterbacks, having a surefire thing that can step in and do that on day 1 of their National Football League career is a very good thing to have. So while we all thought Reese made a lot of sense for the Jets, this trend towards Bailey makes a lot of sense. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the numbers trend more in his direction the closer we get to night 1 of the draft.
When does the running back come off the board? Can Love go 4?
I do think he goes 4, Pauly. And,
okay.
You know, when we got into free agency, the start of free agency, it seemed like 9 was the surefire spot for him to the Kansas City Chiefs. They needed a running back. They needed to help Mahomes. They needed to help that offense if Mahomes wasn't ready in week 1. Then they go sign Kenneth Walker. So you start thinking, okay, where could Love come off the board? You look at 4 now. And that's because, look, Tennessee needed a lot of help on their defensive front. They went out and made a ton of moves in free agency and via trade to address that part of their roster. So now what can they do? They can help Cam Ward with a running back that can generate explosive plays, not just on the ground, which he can certainly do. He's a scheme diverse back, zone, gap, power, whatever you want to do from a run game standpoint. Love can fit that profile. But he can generate explosive plays in the passing game. And you think about Robert Saleh, you think about Brian Daboll, the kind of offense they want to run, the kind of team they want to have. Jeremiah Love makes a ton of sense for the Tennessee Titans at 4. So I'm sitting here right now, again, less than 2 weeks now from the first night of this draft. I do believe Jeremiah Love at 4 is the pick for the Tennessee Titans.
Do you think Ty Simpson ends up being a first-round pick?
I do, mostly because of a couple of things. One, need. You have so many teams in this draft that want to address the quarterback position. I think the Jets could still do it. Maybe it's 16. Maybe they slide back a little bit via a trade, but they want to come away with a quarterback in this draft. Another fun little rumor that we're hearing, maybe Arizona. Do they trade out of 3 and pick up an additional for pick? Maybe Arizona spot for Ty Simpson. And then look, Pittsburgh does make a lot of sense. Whether it's at 21, maybe they slide back a little bit as well. You know, we think about who's picking behind them at 22. Los Angeles Chargers, they need some interior offensive line help. If a team wants to get ahead of the Chargers to draft an interior offensive lineman, maybe the Steelers can come back a few spots and still get Simpson. I think a team is going to look at what Simpson did over the first, say, 2/3 of this past season when he looked like a first-round quarterback talent. They're going to look at that. They're going to look at the need. They're going to look at their roster. He's going to come off the board in the first round.
All right. Strong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Strong. Do you think teams are making a mistake if Bain falls outside of the top 10?
I do. I certainly believe that when you watch him on film, one of the things, gentlemen, that I love to see is when an offense at the college level has clearly been coached to identify where a specific defender is in the pre-snap phase of a play. Go back and watch that Ohio State game between Ohio State and Miami. On pretty much every single snap in that first half, you had all 10 pointed at number 3. Where was he? Where was he lined up? You're talking about guards, tackles, tight ends, receivers, running backs, everybody. This is an impact defender off the edge. I know there's been a lot of discussion about his arms. He's not long enough. He doesn't have the length of the Football League. Watch him on film. Watch him beat offensive tackles to the spot. Watch him beat doubles to the spot. Watch the attention that he draws. There's a reason why his running mate on the other side of that defensive line is going to perhaps come off the board in the first round as well, because of all the attention he garnered coming off the edge for Miami. He's a massive reason that team made it to a national title game. And I do think, look, the teams that pass on him in the first, say, 4, 5, 6 picks, if he continues to fall more than that, they're going to regret it.
Okay, great stuff, and I totally agree. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Mark Schofield, SBNation.com, covering the NFL Draft, has a great story on juicy rumors, what could happen a couple of weeks from now. So a team that you wrote about that could trade up would be the Dallas Cowboys. Would Bain be somebody that they would target there? And how high do you think they would have to go?
Let's think about this from sort of Jerry Jones's perspective, right? You've got a team in your division, the Washington Commanders, that are sitting at 7. They might also have their eyes on a pass rusher, might also have their eyes on Bain if you were to fall, say, out of the top 5 picks. You'd want to get ahead of your division rival, your longtime rival, the Washington Commanders, and make sure that they don't get their hands on a pass rusher you're eyeing. So I look at the Cleveland Browns sitting at 6. I know they have 2 first-round picks. They've got the pick at 6. They've got the pick at 24. But if they could move out of that spot, come back to, say, 20 as well, get an additional first-round pick, and Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys could come up for a pass rusher that they want in Bain and get ahead of a division rival to do so, that seems to be a win-win for everybody involved. And so I look at the Cleveland Browns at 6. I look at Dallas getting ahead of Washington, who are sitting at 7 and also need some pass rushing help and need some help along the defensive front. That seems like a spot where Jerry Jones would want to get up to on the first night of the draft.
Okay. Now that's juicy.
Yeah.
Now that would be awesome if that would happen. What do you think happens to Sadiq? Great prospect at tight end out of Oregon. Where do you think he eventually lands? And do you think the Chiefs could consider him at number 9?
I think the Chiefs would absolutely consider him at 9. I'd say it's still probably a longer shot that he goes there. I think Kansas City could go in a couple of different directions. I think corner makes a lot of sense after the McDuffie trade. They could still go offensive line to make sure you get your best 5 in front of Mahomes. Right tackle is still an issue that they could address here in the draft. Maybe they would on that and go corner. But look, you are talking about replacing Travis Kelce at some point. He's coming back, but maybe is this the last ride? And when you watch Sadiq, the athletic profile, the movement skills, the way he can move after the catch, there are some similarities, some overlaps between his game and what we've seen from Travis Kelce, certainly in his prime and even recently with how he's played. And so would they consider Sadiq at 9? I think so. I think it's more likely that they go in a different direction. You might say, see Sadiq come off the board, maybe Tampa Bay at 15, maybe Carolina at 19. Those could be some landing spots for him. But Andy Reid would love to get a playmaker like Sadiq. And I'm sure if he's there at 9, he's going to be saying a couple of positive things about Kenny Sadiq, the Oregon tight end, in that draft from before they make the ultimate call.
Yeah. By the way, in about 90 seconds here, Mark, what do you think the Giants do at number 5? Do you think they go Styles from Ohio State, or do they address the offensive line?
Well, their biggest need is right guard. And Ione, the interior offensive lineman from Penn State, is, I think, one of the best interior offensive line prospects since Quentin Nelson. But it's hard to turn in a card with an interior offensive lineman when you're picking at 5. I think it's much more likely they go Styles. I think he makes a lot of sense from them, that athletic profile, playing behind that defensive front, particularly if they get Dexter Lawrence back. If they get that situation settled, you can keep him clean, let him flow and attack the football. I think it would make a lot of sense for them at 5. Look, Giants address that interior offensive line spot, that right guard spot at the top of the second round. I do think Styles makes a lot of sense. Early in the cycle, I was saying maybe a receiver in that spot, and every Giants beat writer I'm friends with would blow up my phone saying, don't you dare do that. No, it's Styles at 5. It's Styles at 5. So until I'm told otherwise, it's Sonny Styles at 5.
Very good. Last thing for you here. Who do you think is the best player in the entire draft, regardless of position?
That's probably one of the toughest questions, but I will say this. I think when all is said and done, Jeremiah Love is going to have a massive positive impact on the team that drafts him. If it's in Tennessee at 4, if it's another team that drafts him, because we've seen football sort of come back to the run game mattering a little bit more. We saw Seattle and the run that they made lead it into that run game a bit. We're talking about a running back that contributes both to the run game and the pass game, generates explosive plays for the offense. I think whether it's, 3 prime years, 5 prime years, longer than that, Love's going to be a very, very big pick for the team that gets him.
Hey, Mark, that was a great spot.
Excellent.
Follow him on X at Mark Schofield. Read him at sbnation.com. Thank you. Get back to the Masters, all right?
Will do, Fred. Thanks so much for having me. Have a great weekend.
We appreciate it. Up next, win some, lose some. Paul's going to horrific beat last night. He's got the details coming up.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays. Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Masters update around the corner. First round leader, McIlroy 20-1. Burns 50-1. Down the street at the Westgate, Rory gets it outright because he had more birdies. NHL, Penguins did it again. 16-1-1 overrun for the game. 11-2 run, goal in the first 10. Islanders 220 up to 310 and covered the puck line. Senators 270 up to 390 at DraftKings. Home teams 11-3, favorites 12-2 straight up. White Sox plus 155, shut out Kansas City, who had beat them 14 in a row at home. Rockets 3.5 up to 6. Lakers plus 4 down to 1.5 in the under, 225.5 to 222.5. And the Knicks from 1 up to 4. Entertaining game, good fourth quarter, beat the Celtics. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. This guy requests to go swim in the pool. He brings out the vest, marks it out. Are we taking requests here? Can we do this? Carries it outside. How about, please, come on, let me go out. Come on. Then he brings it out again, and he sets it out on the deck or on the grass. He knows what he's doing. He's got his own Instagram page, too, this guy. He's smart. Runs back in. I think that this is the guy, they got the hose out there, too, with him in the pool. And he goes back out there and brings it in.
Do they eventually put the actual vest on him and they put him in the pool then?
Yeah, my fault. I thought it was...
No, it's okay.
I didn't think it would go this long. Here he is. Here he comes. He has another vest.
Another one.
Now he's coming out,
Hey,
too.
guys, the yellow one doesn't work. What about this one?
Yes.
Appears to be a huge backyard, too, huh?
Yeah, beautiful backyard. Yeah, absolutely. Put it on me. Let me go. There it is. There it is. There, cannonball. All right. Worth
it was
the wait.
all worth it.
Worth the wait. There it is. Now the hose comes out, right? Spray him down, following the hose. Let me have some of the water, and cannonball after cannonball. He nailed it. That guy's excellent.
Silence of the Lambs there.
Yeah.
With the lotion in the basket.
Knicks under 217, down to 211. Bulls over 242.5, up to 249.5.
No chance in that one.
No good. Here's what you were talking about. Diamondbacks Mets under 1-0 in the 7th. 7-1 final. Mets pen implodes. Rockies money line. They blew it in the 10th. They blew it in the 11th. It was 1-1 headed to extras. 7-3 final. And for some reason, if you took Rockies plus the run and a half, Bogarts with a walk-off grand slam. That was sick. And that'll probably happen in another couple weeks, too. 1-1 in the 10th inning. You're safe. You should be good. 7-3 final.
I truly, and I'll say this probably 100 times during the summer, I truly believe the worst beats are in baseball.
Yeah.
Soccer close, but...
Yep. Baseball every day. NBA, NHL playoffs coming soon. Sharp Plays covers it all. Winning for 15 straight years, all of it documented. Logs posted publicly, sharpplays.com. When they move, the books take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel. They find the value before the numbers shift. Respected, watched, and feared. Start winning with them. Sharpplays.com. While we were talking to Mark, Rory bogeyed. McIlroy and Reed share the lead at 6 under. Rose a shot back.
Yep.
Juicy.
Then they have this Wrighton guy. I don't know who he is, to be honest. 5 under right now through 16. He is 1 stroke back. And right now, shop around. I'm seeing McIlroy about plus 240. Patrick Reed plus 550. DK, I think, is a little bit lower than that. And I don't even see the guy who is at 5 under right now on the current board.
Not even listed.
Hold on. I got to keep going down.
Wow.
Christopher is at 33-1 right now at BetMGM, the way it looks.
Wow. Well, good job. I recommended Koepka yesterday. He's in the mix.
Sure he is.
He had a strong run, but it's Pat's to lose.
Ooh, Jason Day with a birdie seconds ago. So now he moves to 5 under, and he's 1 back, and that makes him now, he's through 14 on the day.
Ticket.
I like Jason Day.
Good for him. Yes. A lot going on tonight, especially with also the tie-breaking scenarios, too, which there's so much. God help us if there's like a 3-way tie or 4-way tie. which actually could happen. Knicks have it over the Cavs. Knicks' magic number for the 3 seed is 1. Boston clinches division with one more win. Toronto has the tiebreaker over Atlanta and Charlotte. Orlando and the Heat, they lose it to the Sixers. The Sixers have it over Toronto, Charlotte, and Orlando. They lose it to Atlanta and the Heat. And we'll see what the Sixers look like now without Embiid, too,
right,
as well. You're a little concerned it's too many points. You might be right. But I'm with you on that money line parlay. And there's just some sick spreads again tonight.
Can we talk this through here live about the parlay overall?
Sure, go ahead.
Because I'm currently on the DraftKings website, and I'm just going to go game by game here, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree on which teams to include here. Certainly Orlando's got to be on it, right?
Yes.
Because they're playing for something here.
Yes.
They don't want to fall too far down.
They own a lot of the tiebreakers, trying to at least get the 7 seed. Yeah.
So this is not a tanking parlay, but we're going to include Atlanta, yeah?
Yes. As Tony Rizzo said us yesterday, it behooves the Cavs to lose this game. And Mitchell's out, Allen's out, Merrill's out. I wouldn't be surprised if they sit guys in the second half as well.
Me neither. The Heat on the money line at DK minus 1,600. They're laying 16.5 to Washington. Washington has lost 8 straight. They're 17-63. They are locked into a top 3 spot, and all those teams in the top 3 have an equal chance to land the number 1 overall pick via the ping pong balls. So they can, in theory, win this game, but I don't care how many people sit for Miami. I would say that they're probably still going to win.
Yeah.
So I'll put that on the parlay. The Celtics on the parlay, do they clinch tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
No Tatum, but they'll still beat the Pelicans.
Do you want the 76ers?
Yes.
I would personally be careful with that one, but I'll put it on here for now. Spurs are 18 minus 2,100 on the money line.
No.
Don't put them on there?
No. There's no motivation.
Okay.
It's just to get Wemby the 20 minutes. I mean, that's not that Dallas is going to win, but that's one I don't. I mean, the Spurs are the 2. I would not include that.
Do we trust the Bucks to beat the Nets? That does not qualify as a tanking parlay because both teams have been tanking.
No.
Okay.
The Nets are sitting everybody. This is also enormous for the win total because they close with Toronto Sunday. And, boy, they laid down last night. It was beautiful. But if they win one more game, they go over their win total. But I would not include the Bucks. I would include Denver.
Okay, I'll put Denver on here.
Yep, 11.5 for a reason. And it's also advantageous to OKC to lose this game so they avoid Denver until the conference finals.
Okay, do you want the Rockets against the Wolves?
Yes.
Okay, Minnesota City and a bunch of guys again tonight.
Houston can still get the 3. And then if they win out and get a Laker loss at any point, because the Lakers won't lose Sunday to Utah, so the Lakers got to lose tonight, that the Rockets get the 4 seed.
And the final one would be Golden State laying 11.5 at the Kings. You want it?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
I don't really either.
No.
So the 7-pick parlay at DK right now would be Houston, Denver, Orlando. You have the 76ers, the Celtics, the Heat, and the Hawks. At DraftKings right now, that 7-leg parlay pays plus 145.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Sixers off just to see what a 6-teamer pays.
Okay.
Plus 126, you take the Sixers
off.
off.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
At DK.
I'll probably join you then. If that bothers you.
No, I'm just saying.
It doesn't really do much to the payout, so.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying there's a world where the Pacers could. By the way, they're 4-6 in their last 10 games. So they could still win this game and not impact like their chances to get the number 1 overall pick. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Sixers might win by 100. I don't know what the hell's going to happen in the game.
Yeah.
Tonight's a bizarre night overall.
Yep. Philly is the 8 right now.
Yeah, they can drop behind.
They have the tiebreaker over Orlando, though. But Orlando's not going to lose.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you like Charlotte to win the game tonight? Pistons are playing people.
I still like Charlotte.
Okay.
The question is how long will Detroit play people? I mean, it's just the game means nothing. So
right.
Charlotte's got to get out of this 9. If Charlotte wins out, and they have to play the Knicks Sunday, but hopefully it doesn't mean anything. They do not have the tiebreaker, though, over the Sixers.
Right.
So if they can get a Philly loss, they can jump up to the 8.
I'll tell you what. Tonight is probably the night to just sit back, if you can do this, stomach it, and have as many games on as possible and just pay attention to what the lineups are going to look like and go in play.
Oh, there'll be shenanigans.
Well, I fully believe that, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Rory missed one from about 15 for a birdie. He missed it by an inch or two. That was it. So par there through 11 now. 6 under, still tied with Patrick Reed. Day 2 of the match. Look at that. Ooh, that was just so close. Up next, the great Matt Vasgersian on the program. Tons of night baseball in the majors. We'll get his rundown of what he's looking at coming up here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.